Hey there, this is Leslie Kolovich, and you're listening to the SUP radio show, where we talk stand-up paddling every single time. This session, my guest is Wesley Stewart, a really cool program with Urban Surf for Kids, a nonprofit focused on providing water-based and health programs for foster and orphan children. So stay with us here on the Stand-Up Paddle radio show. It's sure to be another very good show. Wesley, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great.
Nice. So glad that you're on the show today.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Right on. Well, you got a really cool program going out there, and you are the founder of this program. Let's talk a little bit about it. Urban Surf for Kids. How did you come up with this concept, this whole idea?
Well, it started about 4 or 5 years ago. We live in San Diego, and we had been going down to Baja, Mexico, providing baseball equipment for some of the orphans. And, just the evolution of us going down there, it really led me to start to question, what about the kids in San Diego? Who are the kids who don't have parents here? And living on the ocean, been surfing for years, and just put it all together. Hey, let's find some foster kids and let's start a program where we can provide some water-based activities for them.
Nice. And so it started out with surfing?
It did. It started out with surfing. And, what we wanted to do is we wanted to leverage, water-based activities, surfing, sailing, kayaking, and now paddleboarding. And the whole concept of what we want to do is we want to provide these activities with the kids who attend agreeing to provide 3 hours of community service that they have they're free to choose what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. What's the age range of your kids?
We've had some as young as 4 and 5. Typically, the majority of the kids in the foster care system are teenagers from 12 to 18. Mm-hmm. So that typically tends to be our normal age range.
Right. Was it difficult for you to get this whole program started, like going into the orphanages or the foster care program and, telling them, hey, this is something I want to do? Did they get on board right away?
No, not at all. Not at all. A lot of red tape.
A lot of red tape.
Yeah, a lot of red tape in San Diego. The orphanage down in Mexico, very easy. They welcome you. They want you to come. But in the United States, the foster care system, in some ways, it's good. They're very, very protected.
Yeah, well, I understand the red tape part of that, too, because I, was a social worker and did a lot of stuff in foster care, and I understand where they're coming to,
right.
Also. But I also understand, the need for people like you and your group that can come in and make a big difference. Because the kids, there's some programs out there for them, but especially as you know how much being in the water, being out in the ocean, being on the water anytime, what it does for someone's life.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a great story. We just had a paddleboard event in Miami this last Saturday, and there was a group of about 8 kids. And when everyone came together, we have a time where we get a chance to share, who you are, what you enjoy doing. The group of kids were very, antsy. They didn't really get along well. But what was amazing, and this is really the first time I've really noticed it on this level, once we hit the water, everybody got along. It was almost like a sense of calmness just came over them.
It kind of puts everybody on an even keel.
Totally. It was awesome.
That's very cool. So what are your goals for this program?
Well, I think the ultimate vision is we would love for every foster kid who wants the opportunity to learn how to surf, to learn how to paddleboard, if they want to do that, to have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. What kind of funding do you have to get something like this on? Because it's not cheap to get boards and surfboards and sailboards, all that kind of stuff. How does it funded?
Right. We've been really creative, as most nonprofits have been in the last 5 years. What we've done in San Diego is we've built a lot of relationships with marinas. People will donate sailboats that will help support our cause. Also, we've put together a lot of different vacation programs where people can come and spend a week with us down in Baja or now this year, Puerto Vallarta. So we've been creative, but, a lot of individual support for people who really see the vision and want to contribute.
That's very good. I'm sure there's some kind of grants, or is the state actually helping in any way?
We're working on that. We're working on that. And, once again, it's a process. I'm definitely all new to the nonprofit world. And as someone who wears, many different hats, it's really easy to be pulled in so many different directions. But we are starting to focus on having grant proposals. One of our visions is to be able to offer an after-school program entirely for foster kids that will, focus on water-based activities.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think it's very good. And I was speaking with Helga Goebel probably last year, and she was just really wanting to get a stand-up paddle after-school program in the Miami area. Because as you know, is when kids have something to do after school, it keeps them out of trouble a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with a lot of foster homes, for some reason, a lot of these kids have never even been to the water. A lot of it is liability. The staffing is not familiar of being around the water. So for a lot of these kids, it's the first time on the water.
Wow. And so are you finding with stand-up paddling, is that something that they're taking to right away?
We recently, in the last 6 months, made the transition. And, I think it had to do with me. I started paddleboarding 6 months ago, and the first time I did it, fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our camps, especially this time of year in San Diego with the water being so cold, we're starting to do more and more paddleboard events. And the reason is, the kids get up, they're successful in doing it. Versus surfing, you may have, only a handful of kids who are truly going to get up on the board the first day.
Right.
So the learning curve obviously isn't as big, and you're out of the water the majority of the time. And it's just an incredible sport that, obviously is growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were talking earlier about, what you really would like to do is if there are groups of people out there that are interested in opening up their own chapter in different areas. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to announce that we're having our first paddleboard event in Orange County, north of San Diego on February 25th. And what we're trying to do is we're really trying to take what we've done in San Diego, provide that model, and then offer support for people who want to start a program in areas outside of San Diego. Mm-hmm. So on February 25th, we have our first paddleboarding event, and the response has been amazing. 40 foster kids are going to be at this event February 25th up in Orange County. And, this goes back to the vision and, providing these water-based activities for foster kids, and would love to reach out and have volunteers who share that same vision to be able to start a program with our support, in markets all across the country.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, what keeps ringing into my mind right now, too, is with this youth group that you're putting together, that you could be inspiring one of these young people to become a racer, and maybe in the very near future, hopefully, maybe a future Olympian as well. Wouldn't that be quite a story?
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I'm sure you have some great stories from the adventures that you have with these kids, and seen some real changes in their lives and made a difference that, you should be, I'm sure you're writing a book or keeping a journal.
Yeah, definitely. There's a great story. There is, in San Diego County, they have a program called San Pasquale Academy. And what it is, it's an all foster kids high school where all the kids live on campus. And it's about 150 kids, and we do an event for them once a month. And so what's awesome is we get a chance to see the same kids over and over and over again. And there's one kid, his name's Marcos, and at the beginning of all of our camps, we get a chance to share. And I said, hey, what's been the best part of your summer? And he said, coming to these events, looking forward to coming to the surf camps and being together with us. And to me, that just meant so much.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm sure being down in San Diego, Southern California and all that, they may have had the opportunity to see some of the star racers that are down in that area.
A few. in the event in February up in Orange County, Tom Jones is looks like he's scheduled to come and hang out with us for the day.
Cool.
And he's a professional endurance athlete, big paddleboarder. So we're just super excited about that. And these are going to be the things that motivate these kids to want to pursue water-based activities, and we're just excited.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a great job. I can feel your passion and your excitement for this, and it's great to hear from people like you. Is there a website that you'd like people to go visit if they're interested in putting a chapter up?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our website, Urban Surf for Kids. It's URBANSURF, the number 4, and then kids, KIDS.org. Also, obviously everyone's on Facebook. That's been a great resource for us to be able to keep people updated on events, on photos, and just give people a great feel, for what we're doing.
Nice. Yep, it is. Facebook has been great. I think that's how we connected, and glad that we did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's making the world smaller.
That's true. And it was great meeting you at Surf Expo too. So nice to actually meet the face, behind a picture on Facebook.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Well, Wesley, anything else you want to bring up before our time's up?
Yeah. Obviously, if someone out there is interested in starting the chapter, I would love to hear from them. We have a volunteer sign up on our website. And then also something that we just started this year, we have a series of trips for 7 nights out to Puerto Vallarta, where we're going to be working with several different orphanages to provide the water-based activities, paddleboarding, sailing, surfing, for some of these orphans. And so what we're offering is a chance for people to be able to plug in and come and join us on that trip. It's going to be life-changing for everyone involved. So I think that's a great way to get involved, or, if someone's interested in the possibility of opening a chapter.
Right on. Well, okay. Well, there you have it. Wesley Stewart with Urban Surf for Kids. Thanks again for joining me on the program today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, you bet. Talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Stand Up Paddle Radio Show. You can listen to this podcast and many more at supradioshow.com. Get out there, stand up, and paddle. Have a great afternoon.